Architectural Builder Supply is pleased to present you with this recording of the technical question that is listed in the title of this video.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
Highly recommended as being the man with all the knowledge.
Oh boy.
You like being set up for that one, don't you?
No, I know where these kinds of calls end up.
What I've got is a ultra hardware Mortise Lockset with a deadbolt. Trying to locate matte black, either door knobs or door handles that will work with this. The original, we're doing a project and we did a custom door for a bedroom. And the guy who built the door for us used your Mortise lock. And the Baldwin hardware that the designer picked out is not compatible with it. So I just need to see if you have something matte black, either knob or handle, that we can get to make it work.
No, there's not. I mean, short of having the trim powder coated, you know, black, which is all the rage these days, toss the Ultra lock and just get a Baldwin lock.
Tried that. They're telling me that the door is too thin for the Baldwin lock.
How thick is the door?
Inch thick.
Oh yeah, that's going to be a problem. What Ultra?
The lock fits in. The lock fits in. Yeah, the lock fits in great. I mean, that's no issue. It's just the issue is finding handle set that'll mate with this.
What Ultra Mortise lock do you have?
It's a 44630.
Yeah, you know, I don't know. I mean, what's the size of the key stock? You know, the spindle that goes through there.
Well, that's kind of the issue we're running into. The Baldwin ones that we have, a little bit too long. We're going to have to, if we can't, not a big deal, we're going to have to trim the spindle on whatever we get. But the Baldwin handles that we have, the way they go into the back side of the handles, they're either going to be twisted up or twisted down. No way to adjust the spindle through the center of the whatever it's called in the lock set to make the handles that we currently have sit level. So we're trying to see if maybe there's a door knob. They're fine with the door knob if we can use a black door knob or a different brand of handle where the spindle that goes through the middle will allow the handles to sit level.
So what trim was selected by the designer from Baldwin?
I'm sorry, what?
What trim was selected by the designer? What Baldwin trim?
Let me pull this up here. Gotcha. I think you still got it. This is the last thing we've got to deal with on the project, and of course it's the most difficult. It's taking forever. It is... I've got their part numbers. It doesn't really give a description other than that. It's a Baldwin 5116 period M period PRIV, kind of a tapered handle with a couple little round things on the very end, but it looks isn't important. Yeah. It's just as long as they're black. they know that we're having trouble with this part. So black handles or black knobs, we're fine with.
Yeah. That lock must just barely fit on that door. I'm not sure what the width of the faceplate is, but it's got to be basically an inch.
Oh yeah, it's a tight fit, but it does.
Yeah. The issue is the Ultra trim is, very unusual. And you need a split style. Oh, yeah, that's going to be your problem. Well, wait a minute. Yeah, this is the way that Ultra lock is. A spindle doesn't go through the door. So in theory, you could I don't think there's any way to do this because the Baldwin, the Ultra trim surface mounts on both sides. The spindle doesn't go through the lock case. So in order to emulate that, you would need to have you would need to have a dummy spindle, but one that rotates. I wonder how they do an exit lock. Let me take a look at my Baldwin book. Exit. Do an exit function. If that Baldwin. I don't think you can powder coat that stuff either because you're not going to be able to separate the pieces. Let's look at I don't know what the size of the Baldwin spindle is, but it's it's going to be a common key stock size. Let's look.
Yeah, the spindle fits through there fine, and it's just the way it won't twist to allow the handles to sit level. So I'm hoping just Baldwin is so crazy out of the ordinary, proprietary that anybody else would have something that would work.
Yeah, the Baldwin locks don't work like this Ultra lock does. The Ultra lock, the trim is surface mounted, and the spindles basically sit only into the hub on its own side. So you basically need a spindle that you can surface mount. Let's see what they have. The question is how, if they have an exit lock, how do they work that? So half dummy, full dummy. What's that? That got threaded on. Exit lock. Okay. Is the door already prepped for the Ultra?
Yeah, the Ultra's already installed.
Oh boy.
It's been installed. Our guy who did the door, who made the door, custom made it around it. So
And spindle. Okay.
Mortise Lock's already in it, and we're just trying to find something to work with it.
There's no way that Baldwin has, Baldwin, because it'll be compatible with the trim. There's no way that they have to give you like a dummy half spindle set, but to make it active. Is it possible that your client might? Oh, but the knobs are already installed, so now you've got holes in the door. Is it possible? So, would they be interested in having just dummy trim on that door and then not using the latch bolt and only providing security with the cylinders by throwing the deadbolt every time? The issue is,
I mean, it's got a deadbolt, so that would, as long as as long as the knobs or handles turn and it opens, and he's got the deadbolt on there, that's
Well, they wouldn't turn. There's no spindle to do this. That's the problem. Let me see if Accurate has anything up their sleeve. Accurate. Yeah, it's that hub that doesn't go all the way through. You know what I'm wondering also? What might work is taking the lock apart and removing the hubs that the spindle goes through. Now, what there could be, they might actually go through, and there could be just a disc underneath them. So
yeah, the spindles we have go all the way through.
Oh, okay. All right, because that Mortise lock does not feature spindles that go through the lock.
Okay. Yeah, we've got spindles that we can probably, cut to make them work. We've got them that go all the way through. So we just need a knob or a handle in matte black.
Well, if you've got a spindle, which is not the ultra spindle.
Correct.
So, okay, then what you would, so if you had a split spindle, if you had a swivel spindle that would allow independent operation from either side of the door, and you knew that you could pass that through the lock case, what is the holdup then?
On the Baldwin handles that we have, the spindle, when it goes through the center of the Mortise lock, it doesn't allow us to twist it to adjust the levelness of the Baldwin handles. Baldwin handles, when we mount them on the spindles,
oh, it's not coming up at a diamond
upward
or a square.
Correct. Yeah, they're not twisted the correct way. The square for where the spindles sit. So we're trying to find, a round handle, black would, that would be perfect.
Wouldn't matter.
Or possibly, if some company made handles in matte black that would mate with that and allow the handles to be level, either or, that's what we're trying to find.
But when so really the problem sounds like it's where they've placed the set screw in the 5116, whatever it was. Because the hub for the spindle is square of this ultra lock. So depending on where they've put the set screw in your lever, you'd be able to thread that down so that it was reasonably tight on the door and then set your set screw. So have you tried a Baldwin trim out? You have, obviously. What trim did you try?
Yeah. Yep. Just the exact handles, the whatever that number was I read off to you.
5116.
Yep.
Yeah. That,
It's just, we can't get it, we can't adjust it to make it work.
Yeah, so I'm looking at a video of that Ultra lock, and those spindles are square. So if you push those hubs are square. If you push your spindle through there and it actually fits, and you can thread the Baldwin onto it, or whatever it is, if it's a non-threaded spindle, if the set screw is in one of the 4 flat sides.
So we should be able to adjust it to where we can adjust the Baldwin handles to sit level.
Well, if this, I'm going to stop short of just saying patently yes. But I can tell you that the Ultra Lock has its hubs are square. If you pushed a piece of key stock right through those hubs, it's going to sit square. And if that set screw is in the very bottom of the lever, which actually it's probably not, it's on the inside crotch of the lever. Then is it a threaded spindle or is it a flat spindle?
It's a flat spindle.
So the Baldwin, isn't the Baldwin threaded though?
It's not. This one is,
okay.
It accepts the square spindle.
Probably, okay, or a diamond, I
into
imagine.
the base of the handle. Yeah, into the base of the handle. And just the way that the spindle sits in the lock, we can't get it to adjust to where the handles are level. It's either cocked upward or downward.
Yeah, I mean, the mystery at this point very likely is the fact that what I'm looking at in terms of that Ultra Lock, those hubs are square. They're not askew. They're not on a diamond. And when you push a spindle through there, assuming that the spindle fits, it shouldn't be too askew. So is there slop on the spindle when you put it through? Does it move a little bit?
No, there's no slop, but it's the spindle when it goes through the middle of the mortise lock is dead square. The where the spindle sits into the Baldwin handle, it is, I guess, what you would call diamond, to where it sits on there. There's no way, it's not, when you put the handle on, it's got to be set either upward or downward, and it's not mating square because it's a diamond shaped top to bottom on the inside of the handle.
Okay, so the handle will not accept it square.
Correct.
Okay, yeah, so it's going to be on a 45-degree angle, up or down, all the time.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what we're running into.
Well, I mean, what you got to find is trim by someone who's got it prepped on the square. I would look at someone like Omnia or MTech. Their trim might accept a square spindle. I'm tempted to say that it will. Baldwin,
Omnia or MTech.
Yeah, that's. Let me look at a Baldwin lock case. Okay. Yeah, that's why. The Baldwin trim is definitely on a diamond. That's the problem. Yeah, that's confirmed. Okay, so I mean, decorative hardware is not our strong suit. I would look for someone who's got some decorative trim that will take what you want to look at is the Omnia or the MTech lock bodies and see where that hub is, and then of course find out what the size of that key stock is. It's probably going to be right about 5/16, and then pursue it that way would be the way to go.
So Omnia, OMNIA.
Oh, Omnia, OMNIA, yes, sir, OMNIA.
Okay.
And then I would look at MTech, EMTEK. You know, the issue with powder coating that stuff is simply that there might be something inside of there that's going to melt. You know, so powder coating's not bad. It'll work. Powder coating's all the rage. But can you take the ultra trim? Well, they want levers, so you're not going to use the knobs that you've already got.
Yeah, I mean, we could. We could just find some matte black knobs. They know how much trouble we're having on this. They're good with that, and I'm trying to avoid, you know, sending it out to get them powder coated matte black and waste another week and a half. I'm hoping just to have somebody have something in stock on the shelf already, that color that we can use.
Right on. So I have pulled up the Omnia catalog. Now they're interior latch sets that take all kinds of decorative trim, clearly indicate that spindle is on a square, clearly.
Okay, that's good.
So I'd be going at Omnia because the stuff you put on the outside front door of the house, the same knobs and levers you can use on the inside, that's all square, so it's got to be cross-compatible.
Perfect. So the Omnia does have square. I will pull up their catalog and start searching them. Awesome. Richard, thank you, man. Seriously, thank you for walking me through it, because we've all been scratching our heads saying, why won't this work?
Yeah, you know, the other, there's no way to machine the inside of that lever is going to be the problem as well. You know, I have no suggestion on that. Sorry I couldn't just pull something off the shelf and take your credit card and ship it to you, but I think you got closer.
but yeah, you walked me through it, man. At least you got me a starting point with Omnia, and I'll go from there. I appreciate your time, Richard.
Best of luck.
All right, take care now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Architectural Builders Supply hopes you have enjoyed this program.